Consciousness. What exactly is consciousness? Is it the light that comes on in our eyes the day we're born and then flickers out again the day that we die? Is it our power to reason, to think about the deeper issues, or is it something more? The holy grail of mystics, truth seekers, holy men. Mind-opening. That's how consciousness works. When we open our minds, we reach in to the wellspring of consciousness to find what's there. And there's a lot there. There's the power of the infinite there. Which is why, from the very, very dawn of time, mankind's consciousness has always been interwoven with storytelling. Around the campfires of our primal ancestors, there was always such a man, a storyteller, holding the tribe spellbound with his magical tales. A tradition that evolved through theatre, through music, dance, until finally there was ancient stories in one form or another, forever retold. They evolved their way onto the huge cinema screens of today, where some of those new storytellers addressed heavy issues of consciousness full on. Now, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, it opened our minds to the whole ET UFO phenomena on a global level, hundreds of millions of people. Whilst in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, we meet an intriguing little creature who none of us will ever forget. Yoda seems so real, this tiny Hollywood alien version of a Chinese chi master, and he takes young Luke, the inexperienced warrior, and starts training him as the Jedi Knight we all know he must surely someday become. Naturally, as mere observers, we glimpse only a tiny segment of what would have been years of laborious toil and self-sacrifice if Luke were really training to become the Shaolin master upon which his character is based. But we see enough to realize there is much more to all of this than just learning how to kick ass. We see from the very outset how there is a much deeper, more spiritual aspect to this. We meet the Force. If we didn't grasp it before, then we should certainly have taken the hint when we saw Luke attempting to fight blindfolded. Surely you're going to tell me that is impossible. Just a trick for the movies to make the whole thing just that little bit more dramatic. What if I told you that that were not the case? What if I told you that in this age and in ages past, there are and have always been people capable of this level of clairvoyant spiritual mastery? After a while, shaking your head and looking at me sideways, you might ask, okay, if you say this is true, how could it be done? How could you do anything blindfolded, much less try and fight Darth Vader? The answer? Consciousness. Universal consciousness. The all-seeing eye. You link with the all-seeing eye of consciousness. This is the one answer all you humans have fought so hard to avoid since the very dawn of this current age of man some 300,000 years ago. You guys are so terrified of it. This one glowing truth that you've allowed our leaders to engineer an entire culture based upon ridicule of literally anyone who even dares suggest it. Tarot cards, I Ching, mediumship, divination, remote viewing, indeed every single aspect of what you call the paranormal, it all merges together as a single, elegant, perfectly defined, easily explained answer when you identify them as different aspects of that one phenomena which is universal consciousness, the one mind that is shared by all.